Hey there, beautiful family of light. Today I'm guided to do a video about human categorizing, human labeling, because I'm guided to do this. I've received a lot of the questions from people, and some even have to deal with how do you know you're on the right path? How do you know what you are, as an indigo, starseed? And this is something that I oftentimes speak about, saying that if you're still asking those questions, you're still not figuring out what it's truly about, why we are truly here. Firstly, I would like to read you this text that I wrote today, posted on my page. You can go there directly if you want to read it all, you're by yourself, but I'm guided to read it out loud for those who do not follow my page. So this is something really important because there's still a lot of this is the manipulated way of causing the people to think in terms of duality, confusion, not true understanding, and higher wisdom of why we are here, what is our path, things like that. Okay, I'm going to read my text right now. When people ask me questions such as, am I on the right path of ascension? How do you know that you are on the right path? And how do you know if you're a starseed, lightworker, and so on? I cannot give them a simple answer. Firstly, these kinds of questions are not something that someone else can answer for you, but I can share my own wisdom about this sort of wondering to help the individual to better understand why they're asking these questions to themselves in the first place. The truth is, there's something called the New Age, which created some of the confusion amongst individuals, especially seekers of higher light. These labels, such as lightworker, indigo, crystal, starseed, and so on, are in a way created to make us focus more on this than our own mission. This is who we truly are. It takes higher wisdom to understand and use these labels. A true light worker is not interested just in their own label, but focused on loving service, giving and sharing their love vibration with the world. Of course, there are volunteers and waves of volunteers, so-called volunteer souls, to assist with the shift. But it is more important to feel your own being from within than being focused on these labels and labeling yourself. That means bringing focus to the being that you are, where you are unique and why. Why do you have to continue? What do you have to contribute to this plane and the shift within your divine attributes? This means discovering yourself through the knowledge of self and higher wisdom. When you focus on the knowledge of self and utilizing it for your highest good and the greater good of all, you are not just pondering on who you are, but living who you are and your unique soul signature. If you just keep asking yourselves about the path you are on instead of living it every step of your way, and if you only wish to consider yourself in terms of these labels, you limit yourself actually and the true soul potential of who you are as a being. As a being, you are multidimensional, timeless, and unlimited. And the moment you limit yourself as a human, from a limited human perspective, you stop your spiritual growth. And only through devotion to your spiritual growth, which always results for the highest good of all, you're actually on the way to knowing the self and your unique soul signature or soul ray. It is also important to know that within every question we ask ourselves, there is already an answer. But it needs our observation, higher awareness, and wisdom to recognize this. So, seekers of higher light, wake up, rise to your own divine potential. It is true, and after posting this, a sister of light she wrote to me. And she said, yeah, I know this New Age movement is causing a lot of these labels and making people believe in such things and still thinking in terms of duality instead of rather really waking up and starting to walk their own path and saying, I do things in my own way. And she said, I'm focused on doing things in my own way. And this is what I am helping to, bring forth through my videos to help free and empower people, because actually everyone has to free themselves. But like my wise friend said recently, he said, of course, everyone is now waking up. Everyone's waking up to the paradigm, but there's a question of which paradigm you're actually waking yourselves to. So this has a value. This statement is so deep if you ponder on it just for a while. Oh, he's also the one who gave me this wonderful pendant. It's a flower of life symbol, and I was asked about this. That's why I'm describing it to all of you, because after my last video, when I was wearing this necklace for the first time, I guess people noticed, and some of them said, wow, this necklace, it's so powerful, and it is powerful. Well, the person didn't give it to me. They lent it to me because I had another extraterrestrial, so to say, experience 2 nights ago, and I was a bit scared again after my awakening in the morning, in the middle of the night actually, at 3 a.m. But I knew this was for my highest good. There's a lot of things happening, and it's to do with the timelines in our head, because a lot of the dimensions are now merging within us, within our consciousness. These are oftentimes, this is our family, this is our galactic family helping us, assisting us, and it's not always pleasant, as I say, but when you follow your inner feelings, when you follow your heart, you're within divine flow. And when you're not, when you keep asking questions and, demanding the answers instead of letting the answers flow on their own to you, you have to know that every answer comes to you in divine timing. And if you're being impatient, demanding, willing to know things that sometimes need higher wisdom to integrate. I've been reading some of the material from Dolores Cannon, and all the contacts that speak through certain people who are within these regressions, hypnotic states, they say that, if it's not time yet, we won't give you this information, because firstly, there's not human language or, how we interpret things available for this truth to come as pure as it is. And if it's not, if it's tainted, if it's no longer pure, then it's not the way it is in truth. So we're not going to give it yet. So therefore, you need to understand that until you will have within you integrated this higher awareness to understand things as they are, not as they appear to be, or as you would wish them to be, or someone else is saying, claiming that they are, you won't get these answers. Even myself, sometimes I know that I will get answers in divine timing. So the main question here, for instance, how do I know that I'm on the right path? Firstly, let me say there is no such a thing as a wrong path. Even if you think you're not on the right path yet, that you're doing something is wrong, because that's what people say. They say, what am I doing wrong here? Why can't I be like you? Why can't I be on your certain vibration yet? You're always on the right path. You cannot be wrong. This is the nature of spirit. It is cyclical. It is unlimited. It is exactly as it's supposed to be for your personal spirit evolution, because there are two things happening, actually. There's an evolution of creation, life forms, and there's a devolution of the soul as it's decreasing and the more dense realities and having these experiences. So you need to have a deeper understanding of all of this, and this comes through time, through devotion to your soul growth. It doesn't just drop from the sky, because people who are being impatient, they will satisfy themselves only with these labels as saying, oh, this is how it is, period. But their growth will stop. You need to understand that even if you perceive that you're on the wrong path and that you're not there where you need to be at, you cannot be, because this wrong part is bringing you to your true divine potential anyway. These are just timelines. Time is not linear. It is a web, and once you understand this, you have this inner feeling how you are always within this web where you need to be. You're flowing with the divine energies. You are not following this line, and it's a strict, dense line. It is not like that, but if you perceive it like that, this is exactly how you experience your reality. So if you say, I want to be like Polona, I want to have the same wisdom, I want to have the same understanding, Firstly, someone wrote to me today after watching my previous video, and he said, it's so lovely. You're like more advanced, and you speak about these things, and you're learning faster so that we can learn faster as well. It's not about that exactly. It's more like the wisdom of my soul is eternal, but I have to attune to it. And I have done a lot of devotion. I've had a lot of awakening experiences. I had a lot of traumatic experiences in my life too that have caused this awakening. And it has been an uphill path. Constant uphill battle, if you perceive it in earthly terms as such. But it's been a non-stop 24/7 work for me. It's not that I am here, what some people would think, oh, she's just this girl, she's privileged, she's pretending this, she's saying these things. No, it has to do everything with devotion, the care that you put into this, the love that you put into this, soul growth, your own growth that contributes to the greater good of all. So my soul's wisdom is eternal. It is about who I am as a being, why I came here, and this is about me. This is not something that I wish to talk about. I wish to talk about the love and the things within the truths, the grander truths, to really help to assist others who are awakening now. But this is my own journey. This is a part of my own journey. So the same goes for you. But you have to explore your own journey in a way that it's about you also giving service to all, to contribute, to anchor your unique light. I read this in Patricia Corey's books a while ago when I was reading those Syrian Revelation trilogy books. And when they were speaking about the DNA and how we're activating higher DNA codes, they said the moment that you concentrate on, ooh, I have the third strand now, integrating. The moment that you do that, the moment that you perceive it with the mind, the moment you go into the ego instead of knowing yourself, your growth stops. Because every single time you will be giving confirmation, higher knowing from spirit, it will be when you'll be completely open and unattached to anything, truly anything. The moment you say, I am this, period, you limit yourself. This is how it is. But knowing your soul unique frequency and soul ray extension, it's something different. I'm just now starting to read a beautiful book, messages from this person. I don't know their name, but it's called Galactic Changes, Earth in 2012, message from the founders. And I know that these sayings there are truth, because when I start reading that, my whole hands start buzzing, and hands are, directly connected to heart energy. This is one and the same. This is how we give healing, from the heart through our hands. When my hands start buzzing, I know that it's coming from the knowing. It's coming from the heart. That's what many people don't understand when they're still trying to perceive things from the mind. When your heart will be attuning to the information, to the frequency that is behind every single writing or words, texts, whatever it is, video. You're attuning to the frequency of that. And when that is authentic, you will feel it in your whole being, and you will know that it resonates because it's truth. So if you're just focused on the other part of the story, which is the labeling and coming from the mind, you will not understand. And you won't be given the permission, so to say, from your higher self to reach that higher understanding until you will lift your awareness enough to understand it. So my example, I'm not here to say these things in a way that I now know more than you do. I just know the things that I know, and these things I can speak about. The rest, I'm still seeking and integrating my answers, but from within as well. So at the same time, I'm just the same as anyone else, but also different. And because I know myself, I know that I'm here to grow through my own inner being, and you are too, if you remember as well. So I'm in no way better or worse. I'm just following my path, doing things my own way. And I hope that you can really start remembering and waking up to the true paradigm, which is you as a source being, not what you've been told, and not thinking, because there is a false awakening happening here on earth as well. And you will recognize an awakened person by the way that they embody what they're thinking or saying. And it will flow through their heart, not their minds. It won't go through the filters of the mind. So this is what I wanted to speak about in this video. I'm going to make another one just right now about a certain topic that I really feel guided to do. And I'll talk to you all really soon. So much blessings and love. Bye-bye.